personalities, right? So when we coached the high school back in the day, is it still 14 weight classes? I don't know. I know they changed the weight classes, but is it still 14 at the high school level?
No, I think there's less now.
Is there less? So you take that, right? And you know how each kid is like a different way of coaching. You know, like each you have to, especially at the high school level, they're so fragile. You know, it's the same thing. I feel like with work where each trainer has their own personality, and I have to approach them a certain way. And then you just have to be that coach to deal with different personalities, and you balance all of them, right? So now you're just like a plate spinner. I think it's almost the same thing.
And what are the? I mean, it's been a minute since I've been in a I guess we call it a Globo gym style gym.
Wait for the Globo gym.
What type of stuff are those trainers doing with their clients?
I would say we have about, I think we have 12 now. We're about to have 12 gyms. You honestly would maybe get something a little bit different in each gym depending on your trainers, but we are pretty good in the fact that you have to come some type of certification. So no matter what, you have to get your, I have NASM, I have NCSF, ISSA. You have to have that foundation. Some of them have exercise science degrees. That's how I hired too. I made sure that we always had degrees. And, given the gym I'm at now, some of these people were here before I was here. I'm lucky with I have some trainers that have been here over 25 years. But then you got to work on specialization. So I have certain trainers that work with kettlebells, TRX. We're all certified in stretch, which that can be like its own topic. But the stretch that we got is pretty good. And then there's other, we do boot camp classes. We have here a 30-yard turf. I have sleds. So I can do all the workouts that, we used to do in a club, at the wrestling club back in the day,
You got tires?
Yeah, it's not the real tires, though. We have one of the ones that they have for inside. It's not the rubber tire, though. But you still, for the most part. The only thing we don't have is the equivalent of like a hammer to do the slams.
Okay. Do you have certain trainers that are certified just to deal with special pops and deal with people who might be getting off the couch or an elder person?
Yeah, you have. I mean, you could. There's almost a certification for anything, but I have trainers that deal with older community, male and female, and then I have injuries where it could be more of a type of like ACL, those type of constructive injuries, or it could be people that are coming in that have cardiac issues, that have dealt with cancer. I've literally almost, if you throw it my way, I've probably almost dealt with everything because I'm coming close to selling personal training in 10 years now.
Now, when you talk about those people coming in with those different issues, we all know when someone joins a gym or gets a membership at a gym, they have this expectation that they want to do this, do this, do this. And, as trainers, we all know that there's only so much you can do at once. When someone's coming in with these special issues and what have you, how do you combat, hey, let's do one thing at a time, or hey, let's slow down so we can be in here for a year, opposed to paying all the money up front and then never coming in because we're discouraged because we put too much on our plate?
Well, I think that winds up coming back into the education, right? Explaining to people why they're doing X, Y, and Z. And I think that's almost probably for anything. But when they come in and they're talking about, they want to lose 50 pounds, but they just came off a certain injury, you got to explain to them, right, how they have to take the baby steps so they're not taking 3 steps back. But I do have certain I have a program that we use, and we use certain pages for education. So those pages I have memorized. So I could then, design it to be exactly for what they're looking for because I know these pages in and out. And then I start to explain to them what we're going to get into and why I'm going into that. Because the biggest thing is the why. Like, why are we doing these things? That's what I feel like most people don't understand is why are you doing these certain workouts? These are people that are not like us and have been working out since, we've been working out for our whole lives. They haven't. So they're very nervous coming into these appointments as well, too.
Are you getting into diet and nutrition and that sort of stuff with them?
I usually will table it somewhat because there's so much to go in on the exercise, but we do go into it eventually, especially, once they come on board. Then we can start going into the nutrition, obviously, again, depending on the situation, if it's weight loss, muscle gain, things of that nature. But yeah, eventually, again, somebody comes in and wants to talk about their exercise and their weight loss, and then the nutrition. That can be almost a 2-hour session, So we try to table it, and so that we have a little balance as they come, as they come in and start giving them all that stuff, because you could also overload their what they're taking in at that point as well too.
Do you have any Biggest Loser type success stories?
Oh, I mean, I don't even know how many I've had, but I know the most recent one I got, because we had to just collect a couple of referrals recently. We had a lady here lose 130 pounds in the last year and a half, and you honestly actually wouldn't even notice if I showed you a picture of her.
Totally unrecognizable.
Yeah, I mean, because she hasn't stopped the weight training, and she's learned. So her body was pretty quick with, not getting stretched out, like some people it happens to.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, from picture 1 to picture 2, not even recognizable at all.
Now, will you guys make ads and stuff based around her to kind of hype her up and show what she did, or does that just kind of go under the radar?
No, I mean, we ask, so with a bigger gym like this, the company will do certain things, because obviously you have to get that signed off on. But she did it actually recently for the company, so they're going to do a commercial soon, and she's going to be one of them that are presented on the commercial, which they do commercials for Facebook and Instagram and all that. But yeah, no, usually we try to spotlight them if they're comfortable doing it, so that people could see that it's, it's possible to do those, do that certain, thing, as, for her case, lose over 100 pounds.
And do you see people are still wanting that one-on-one attention, or more people gravitating towards some of the group style classes that you have offered?
So the gym itself, so they did actually go that route for a while with the group style, and they've reverted back to the one-on-one, because really that's where things happen for people. And, to be honest, it's definitely better for the business itself. But the group classes, at least in my opinion, are a good supplement to the one-on-one training, just at least how we design it here. I guess if I look into my workouts, the way you really would want to do it, if in a perfect world, you would have your lifting days, and then you have, let's say, your wrestling or, your cardio-esque type of workouts to split up. So with the group classes, I always try to tell them, listen, you are going to do some of these types of classes, but we're still going to need that one-on-one at least 2 to 3 times per week, let's say, to really get your form down, so that you're not hurting yourself when you're in those group classes. Because even if it's a small group class that's 4 or 5 people, something can be missed, if you're doing a workout. One-on-one, it's going to be, hard to miss something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. There's nowhere to hide when it's just one-on-one. You can't
right.
Can't sneak and hide in the corner and put in half an effort or cheat a couple reps.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You're getting that individual attention to make sure that you push through. Because a lot of people, they will. I think that's for all of us, right? When we stop for a while and we get back into it, it's hard to stay consistent, because it's not easy. It's plain and simple, especially as you get older.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. That's what I always say.
Hear that.
We talk a lot how you do assessments with people as they come in, and you're the one who signs people up. Just kind of go into detail on what that's like, what your strategies and protocols are to get people in the door, or to even recognize, hey, what this person wants, we can't provide it, and to let them know that and not lead them on.
I mean, with most people, one, the leads come from, they reach out to me, let's say, or they join the gym. That's where the leads come from. So now I got to start teaching them, why do they need personal training? Because they usually come in for a gym membership, right? You come in for a gym membership, you're not thinking personal training, you're thinking just I'm going to use the equipment. We're lucky we have a lot of stuff here, so we're going to do the kettlebells, we're going to do the machines, we're going to do a class. So I got to start explaining why is this going to work for them. So again, everybody comes in different. So that's when I go right into my education of what they need to do. Some people, from a sales perspective, sometimes it might even take 2 or 3 or 4 times for that person to understand what you're saying. You shouldn't expect that most of the people aren't going to expect, the first time that they meet you, that they're going to understand that we need to, bang out in the gym 3 to 4 times per week, get at least 30 minutes to 40 minutes of resistance, and then you need to get your cardio in every day to get the goals that you're looking for, right? So it's more about the persistence, to be honest with you, and being organized with that, to getting people to understand it and then staying here with us so that they're not only here for a month and then they're just donating like a Planet Fitness, right?
So we kind of joked about before how, there's the Edison hustle, and me and Richie always talk about how everyone we know from Edison has that hustle. So in the process of becoming a manager, do you feel, the classes they send you to, the education they give you, that stuff helps? Or do you feel going into that position you kind of came into management with all those tools because you got that Edison hustle?
I mean, I'll tell you this. The first time when I started as a personal trainer, and I had a lot to learn because I didn't get my education at first in all this. I just kind of got the job because I was a coach. And I failed a lot at first, to be honest. I did. I wasn't really the best seller. I was a good trainer because I had a good personality and I knew how to keep people with me because I made them feel good, right? And I knew enough workouts to get the average Joe by. I had to take a step back, actually, from management and get more of my education and learn how to convey it. And once I was able to do that, which the company did help me with all that, like getting my certification, I got that through here. I've gotten my N.C.C.P.T, I've gotten my kettlebell cert, I've gotten TRX, I have the stretch all under the umbrella of my company. Then as I started to learn all that, I became more confident and was able to start conveying that to people, and that's when I started to really become good at what I do now.
No CrossFit level 1?
No CrossFit. Usually I'm explaining where so again, just to use that as an example, I never actually will talk down about anything. CrossFit will be good for certain people, but as you know, right, there's some injuries as well too. So somebody new, maybe not the best way to go at first, but maybe if it is something that they're interested in, definitely down the road, I wouldn't disregard it to do that as well too.
Have you seen an influx of people coming in from CrossFits as CrossFits are closing and maybe not as popular as they were at one time?
I generally probably get 2 to 3 people a month from CrossFit gyms that didn't want to pay maybe what they were paying. And then literally, when they tell me what they were paying, they could get a good amount of sessions here for just one-on-one, and the class that comes with it and the stretch. So when they start putting that together, usually it's usually a pretty easy sale, to be honest. But I've been pretty consistent. I mean, there is a CrossFit gym over here, and it is pretty good. So they do have their core. But you got the older community, and older. I mean, I'm just saying in their 40s that do it for a while.
Whoa, hey, huh?
Yeah, but see, the difference is you've been working out. You never really stopped, right? I mean,
No.
Not many people I speak to are doing ultra marathons.
Do you get people doing snatches and clean and jerks and stuff on the floor?
No, I have middle-aged moms doing snatches and clean and jerks. They also think I'm crazy, but I do. See, again, it depends on the trainer because you kind of know my background. So I used to do it for fun because I wanted to see what that stuff is. So you actually would be surprised, just because I think a lot of that stuff has become more mainstream anyway, compared to 10 years ago when we were doing it in the clubs.
One thing you had mentioned was when you first started coaching, your personality kind of compensated for maybe your lack of coaching skills. Do you see a lot in the environment that you're in that a good personality will go way farther than being a good coach without a personality?
I mean, put it this way. I got